It seems that many Democrat constituents are even more susceptible to leftist propaganda and emotions than we anticipated, despite the fact that New York has had a higher fatality rate during this pandemic than the next 4 highest states combined and the bottom 42 states combined, according to a May 6 Quinnipiac poll. Governor Cuomo's job approval rating is at 72% and 81% for his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, this is the same Governor Cuomo who didn't shut down the subways of New York at any point during the lockdowns and didn't even enact a policy of cleaning the subways on a nightly basis until this month. Worse than that, this is the same Governor Cuomo who made an executive order on March 25th mandating that nursing home facilities had to take in coronavirus patients. This, of course, led to the virus spreading out of control in those very same facilities. Yet when pressed on the issue, Governor Cuomo can deflect the issue and talk slowly and emotionally, and the entire media not only gives him a pass, they fawn over him. Here's Governor Cuomo excusing his poor decisions.
Who is accountable for those 139 deaths? Well, how do we get justice for those families who had 139 deaths? What is justice? Who can we prosecute for those deaths? Nobody. Nobody. Mother Nature, God, where did this virus come from? People are going to die by this virus. That is the truth. Older people, vulnerable people are going to die from this virus.
Can you imagine how the media would have reacted to this if it had been Trump talking? It would have been in the news cycle for the next week. But because Cuomo is a Democrat, he's speaking with great wisdom and realism. While he's not entirely wrong that some people were going to die from this disease, not nearly as many would have if Governor Cuomo had exercised an ounce of prudence from the beginning. He goes on to blame President Trump's administration's CDC guidelines, but the results out of Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis and his administration refused to allow stable COVID-19 positive patients to be sent to nursing homes, Florida's results show that the responsibility for inaction and bad action falls on the governor. And keep in mind, Florida has a significant elderly population that DeSantis largely successfully kept safe. Though the media acts like he botched the thing. Sometimes they say, oh, he's as bad as they say Trump has been. But with as much as I have to say about the terrible job Governor Cuomo has done in New York, perhaps no one has put it into better perspective than Fox News meteorologist Janice Dean, who is a dear personal friend of mine. In a long Twitter thread, she lambasted Cuomo for his poor reactions and policy, which cost the lives of her mother-in-law and father-in-law. I quote, "Can you imagine how much press the nursing home tragedy here in New York City would be getting if it was a Republican?" This is what Janice said on Sunday. "It would be on every single channel and newspaper, and yes, if he was a Republican, I'd be just as furious." Well, we already know how they treat a Republican governor who did a much better job than Cuomo did. We can see that by looking at Governor DeSantis, Governor Abbott of Texas, and every other Republican governor who has done their job well, and they've started reopening their states. In response to his statement that elderly people are gonna die from this virus, she said, translation, quote, "Not my fault, even though I approve the order that recovering coronavirus patients could go back into the nursing homes and assisted living centers. And then it spread like wildfire to the most vulnerable people that we're supposed to be protecting," end quote. 2 days prior, she had tweeted, "There are no words to explain how furious I am. Grateful to the journalist who kept looking into this real-life nightmare so many families, including mine, are having to live through." Janice goes on to say, quote, "My husband is still grieving about the loss of his parents to this virus. Both were in nursing homes, assisted living centers. I'm trying to respect his wishes to not scream every day about this, but make no mistake, we want answers, and there's no question their deaths were avoidable." My deepest condolences to dear friend Janice Dean and her husband, Sean, who is a great guy and a New York firefighter, for their loss. We can take solace in the fact that there are authorities like New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik who aren't so swayed by Cuomo's charm as the media is. According to the New York Post, she's calling for a federal probe into Cuomo's handling of COVID-19 in nursing homes. It's certainly needed, and we'll see what turns up in the coming weeks. In any event, it's about time a worthy Democrat has the heat turned up on them. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Please consider subscribing to the channel below and clicking the notification bell. And leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video. And be sure to check out all of our other videos by clicking the box on the upper left. Make sure you check back in tomorrow evening for the next episode of Huckabee. And that's it for this edition of Breakdown. I'm Mike Huckabee.